Taurus, the quiet upgrade you're entering and why it matters. There is a quiet shift happening in your life right now, Taurus. And if you understand what it truly means, the next few months could change everything you thought was settled. This is not about dramatic overnight transformation. This is about something far deeper. Something that has been building beneath the surface for longer than you realize. You have been carrying a weight that most people around you cannot even see. You have been holding steady through seasons that would have broken others. And now the energy is finally beginning to move in your favor. But here is the thing most people miss. This kind of upgrade does not announce itself with fireworks. It whispers, shifts things slowly. It rearranges the pieces of your life when you are not even paying full attention. And that is exactly why so many Taurus souls walk right past it without ever knowing it was there. Not this time. Not for you. If you are feeling a strange restlessness lately, a sense that something needs to change but you cannot quite name what it is, that is not confusion. That is your signal. That is the beginning of a chapter that has been waiting for you to be ready. And you are ready now, even if doubt still lingers. Stay with me through every single tip in this video. Because what I am about to share will give you the map for what is coming. And trust me, you are going to want this map. Tip 1. Your patience is about to be rewarded in ways you never expected. And the key is recognizing the reward when it arrives. Taurus, you are one of the most patient signs in the entire zodiac. You know how to wait. You know how to endure. You know how to keep showing up day after day, even when the results are nowhere in sight. And that quality, that deep, steady, unshakable patience, has been doing more work behind the scenes than you can possibly imagine. But here is something that most people never tell you about patience. It is not just about waiting. It is about what you become while you wait. Every single day that you showed up and did the right thing even though no one noticed. Every single morning you got out of bed and chose to keep going even though your heart was heavy. Every quiet moment where you swallowed your frustration and kept your composure. All of that was not wasted. None of it was wasted. It was building something. It was strengthening something inside of you that cannot be built any other way. And now that inner structure, that foundation you built through years of quiet endurance, is about to start showing results in the outer world. You might start noticing it in small ways at first. A conversation that leads somewhere unexpectedly positive. An opportunity that seems to appear out of thin air. A relationship that suddenly deepens in a way you did not see coming. These are not random events. These are the direct consequences of the energy you have been investing all along. The universe keeps a perfect record, Taurus. Nothing you gave was ever lost. It was stored. It was compounding. And now the interest is starting to come due. But here is where you need to be careful. Because your patience is so deeply wired into who you are. You have a tendency to keep waiting even after the reward has already arrived. You might look at the good thing standing right in front of you and think, no, that cannot be for me. That must be a coincidence. That is too easy. Let me wait a little longer just to be sure. And that instinct, while understandable, can actually cause you to miss the very thing you have been waiting for. The upgrade is not always going to look the way you imagined it. Sometimes it comes dressed in simplicity. Sometimes it arrives quietly, without any fanfare at all. Your job right now is not to keep waiting. Your job is to start receiving. This means allowing yourself to feel worthy of the good that is coming. It means letting go of the old story that says you always have to earn everything the hard way. It means trusting that the seeds you planted years ago are now ready to bloom. And stepping forward to enjoy the garden you built. You have done the work, Taurus. You have more than earned this. Now it is time to open your hands and accept what life is offering. Do not shrink from it. Do not question it into oblivion. Just receive it with the same grace and steadiness that got you here in the first place. The reward is not coming someday. The reward is arriving now. Tip 2. The discomfort you have been feeling is not a sign that something is wrong. It is a sign that you are outgrowing a version of yourself that no longer fits. Let me ask you something, Taurus. Have you been feeling uncomfortable in your own skin lately? Not in a dramatic, earth-shattering way, but in a quiet, persistent, hard-to-explain kind of way. Maybe your routines that used to bring you peace now feel stale. Maybe the things that used to excite you feel flat. Maybe the relationships that once felt easy now feel like they require more energy than they give back. If any of this sounds familiar, I need you to hear me clearly. Nothing is wrong with you. Absolutely nothing. What you are experiencing is the natural discomfort of growth. And for a sign like Taurus, who values stability and consistency above almost everything else, this kind of internal shifting can feel deeply unsettling. You are wired to build things that last. You are wired to find your rhythm and stick with it. So when the rhythm starts to change on its own, your first instinct is to resist. Your first thought is, something must be broken. Let me fix it. Let me get back to normal. But Taurus, what if normal is exactly what you are supposed to be leaving behind? What if the discomfort is not a malfunction but a signal? Think about it like this. When a tree grows, its bark has to crack. It has to split open to make room for the larger trunk forming underneath. That cracking is not damage. It is evidence of expansion. And that is exactly what is happening to you right now. The version of yourself that got you this far. The habits, the beliefs, the way you see yourself in the world. That version was perfect for the chapter you were in. But you are entering a new chapter now. And this new chapter requires a bigger, stronger, more expanded version of you. The discomfort you feel is the old bark cracking open. It is your identity stretching to accommodate who you are becoming. And I know that feels scary. I know it feels like losing control. But I promise you, what is on the other side of this discomfort is more peace, more clarity, and more authentic joy than you have felt in a very long time. The key is to stop fighting the feeling. Stop trying to push yourself back into the old shape. Instead, let yourself expand. Let the discomfort do its work. Trust that the process knows what it is doing, even when you do not. You have been comfortable for a long time, Taurus, and comfort has served you well. But right now, the greatest act of self-love you can perform is to let yourself be a little uncomfortable, because that is where the growth lies. And the growth that is waiting for you on the other side of this, it is going to change everything. If what you're hearing feels accurate, imagine what could happen if you applied this energy intentionally for 21 consecutive days. That's exactly what the 21-day program in the pinned comment is built for. Daily guidance, focused direction, and real momentum. If you're tired of staying in the same cycle, this is your structure. Tip 3. A financial shift is forming, and the way you think about security is about to evolve in a powerful way. Taurus, let us talk about something that is very close to your heart. Money, security, the feeling of knowing that you are safe and that your needs are taken care of. For most of your life, you have worked hard to build a sense of financial stability. You have saved when others spent. You have been careful when others were reckless. You have made practical decisions when others chased impulsive ones. And that discipline has served you beautifully. But right now, the energy surrounding your finances is beginning to shift in a way that might surprise you. And the surprise is not necessarily about the amount of money coming in, although that may change too. The real shift is about how you think about security itself. For a long time, you have equated security with control. If you could control the numbers, control the spending, control the savings, then you felt safe. And while there is nothing wrong with financial discipline, you have been holding on so tightly to that control that it has started to create a different kind of stress. The fear of losing what you have built has, in some ways, become just as heavy as not having it at all. And now the universe is gently asking you to loosen your grip. Not to be reckless, not to throw caution to the wind, but to develop a deeper, more grounded sense of security that does not depend entirely on what is in your bank account. This might show up as new opportunities to invest in yourself, in your health, in your learning, in experiences that enrich your life in ways that money alone cannot measure. It might show up as an unexpected expense that initially causes panic, but ultimately leads to something far better than what you had before. It might show up as a gentle nudge to be more generous with yourself and with others, trusting that abundance is not a fixed pie that shrinks every time you give a slice away. The financial shift that is forming is not about getting more or spending less. It is about upgrading your entire relationship with abundance. It is about moving from a mindset of scarcity and control to a mindset of trust and flow. And here is what I find beautiful about this moment for you, Taurus. You are one of the few signs who can actually make this transition gracefully, because your natural groundedness gives you a foundation that most people do not have. You are not going to lose yourself in this shift. You are not going to become irresponsible or careless. You are simply going to add a new layer to your financial wisdom, a layer that includes trust, generosity, and the understanding that true security comes from within, not from the numbers on a screen. This is a mature, powerful evolution, and it is going to bring you more peace around money than you have felt in years. Tip 4. A relationship in your life is about to go through a meaningful transformation, and your role is to hold space for what is changing. There is someone in your life, Taurus, and you already know who I am talking about, with whom the dynamic is shifting. It might be a partner, it might be a family member, it might be a close friend who has been in your world for many years. Whatever the connection, something between you is changing, and it has probably been changing for a while now, even if neither of you has said anything about it out loud. This is very typical for Taurus energy. You sense the shift long before you acknowledge it. You feel the subtle change in temperature between you and another person, but your instinct is to keep things as they are, to maintain the status quo, to pretend that everything is fine because change in a close relationship is one of the most uncomfortable things you can experience. But here is the truth you already know deep down. Pretending is not working anymore. The dynamic that used to feel balanced now feels slightly off. The conversations that used to flow now feel forced in certain places. Or perhaps the opposite is happening. Perhaps a distance that existed for a long time is finally beginning to close, and that unexpected closeness is bringing up emotions you did not expect. Either way, something is shifting, and you cannot will it back to the way it was. The good news is that this transformation is not a threat. It is an invitation. It is the universe asking you and this other person to meet each other at a deeper level of honesty and vulnerability. It is asking you to let go of the roles you have both been playing and to show up as who you truly are right now. Not who you were 5 years ago, not who you think the other person needs you to be, but who you actually are in this present moment. And your role in this process is beautifully simple but not easy. Your role is to hold space, to be the steady ground that allows this change to happen without rushing it, without forcing it, and without running from it. Holding space means listening more than you speak. It means being present without needing to fix everything. It means allowing the other person to evolve without taking their evolution as a personal rejection of who you are. This is where your Taurus strength becomes a genuine superpower, because no other sign in the zodiac can hold space quite like you can. You have the patience, you have the groundedness, you have the quiet, unwavering presence that makes others feel safe enough to be honest. Use that gift now. The relationship that is changing, it is not ending, it is deepening. And on the other side of this transformation, you are going to find a connection that is more real, more honest, and more nourishing than anything you have experienced before. Trust the process. Tip 5. Your body is trying to tell you something important, and this is the time to finally listen without judgment. Taurus, you have a deep connection with the physical world. You experience life through your senses more intensely than most people. The taste of good food, the feeling of soft fabric against your skin, the warmth of sunlight on your face. These are not just pleasures for you. They are how you process reality. And your body, this incredible instrument that allows you to experience all of these sensations, has been sending you messages lately that you may have been ignoring. Maybe it is fatigue that does not go away no matter how much you sleep. Maybe it is tension in your neck and shoulders that has become so familiar you barely notice it anymore. Maybe it is a craving for movement or for stillness that you keep pushing aside because there are more important things to attend to. Whatever it is, your body is not being random. It is being specific. It is trying to tell you exactly what it needs to support this new chapter you are entering. And here is what makes this moment different from all the other times you promised yourself you would take better care of your health. This time the stakes are higher. Not because something is wrong, but because something is right. You are entering a period of significant personal growth, and your body needs to be strong enough, rested enough, and nourished enough to carry you through it. Think of it this way. You would not try to drive across a continent without making sure your vehicle was in good shape first. You would check the tires, change the oil, fill the tank. Your body deserves the same kind of attention right now. Not out of fear, not out of guilt, but out of respect for the journey ahead. The key here is to listen without judgment. Your body is not your enemy. It is not punishing you for past choices. It is simply communicating. And if you can approach its messages with curiosity instead of criticism, you will be amazed at how quickly things begin to shift. Maybe it is telling you to drink more water. Maybe it is asking for a different kind of food. Maybe it needs more rest or more movement or more time outdoors. Whatever the message is, honor it. You do not need to lifestyle overnight. That is not the Taurus way. But you do need to start making small, consistent changes that show your body you are listening. Because when your body feels supported, everything else in your life flows more easily. Your mind is clearer, your emotions are more stable, your energy is more consistent, and the quiet upgrade that is unfolding in every area of your life, it accelerates. Give your body what it is asking for, Taurus. It has been carrying you faithfully for years. It is time to return the favor. Tip 6. A creative energy is awakening inside you, and what you do with it could surprise everyone, especially yourself. There is something stirring inside you, Taurus, that you might not have words for yet. It is a kind of restlessness, but not the anxious kind. It is more like an itch, a pull, a quiet voice that keeps whispering, "What if? What if you tried that thing you have been thinking about? What if you started that project, picked up that old hobby, explored that idea that keeps floating to the surface of your mind no matter how many times you push it back down?" This is creative energy, Taurus. And whether you consider yourself a creative person or not, this energy is real, it is powerful, and it is looking for an outlet. Now, when most people hear the word creative, they think of painting or writing or music. And while those are certainly forms of creativity, the energy I am talking about is much broader than that. Creativity is any act of bringing something new into existence. It could be a new way of organizing your home, a new approach to a problem at work, a new recipe, a new garden design, a new way of spending your time that brings you genuine satisfaction. Creativity is not about talent or skill. It is about allowing yourself to experiment without needing the outcome to be perfect. And that, dear Taurus, is where your challenge lies. You see, your love of quality and your high standards are beautiful things. They are part of what makes you so reliable and so good at everything you commit to. But those same standards can become a prison when it comes to creative expression. Because creativity requires mess. It requires imperfection. It requires the willingness to try something and fail and try again without attaching your self-worth to the result. And for someone who takes such pride in doing things right, that can feel deeply uncomfortable. But here is what I want you to consider. The most meaningful creative work does not come from skill alone. It comes from courage. It comes from the willingness to show up and create something even when you are not sure it will be good enough. And right now, the energy surrounding you is practically begging you to take that leap. You do not need to show anyone. You do not need to be brilliant. You just need to start. Start with whatever feels even slightly exciting. Start with whatever makes you curious. Start with whatever you would do if you knew no one was watching and no one would judge. Because this creative awakening is not just about the thing you create. It is about the person you become in the process of creating it. It is about reconnecting with a part of yourself that has been dormant for too long. It is about discovering that you are capable of far more than the steady, predictable role you have been playing. You are a creator, Taurus, and the world is waiting to see what you will make next. Tip 7. The people around you are about to reveal their true colors, and this clarity is one of the greatest gifts you will receive this season. Taurus, you are loyal to a fault. When you love someone, you love them with your whole heart. When you commit to a friendship, you commit for life. And that loyalty is one of the most beautiful things about you. But it can also be one of the most dangerous, because your devotion sometimes blinds you to the truth about the people around you. You hold on to relationships long past their expiration date because letting go feels like failure. You make excuses for behavior that should not be excused, because admitting the truth would mean accepting that someone you trusted is not who you thought they were. Well, Taurus, the energy of this season is about to make that kind of denial very difficult to maintain. The people around you are going to start showing you exactly who they are. Not through grand gestures or dramatic confrontations, but through the small, everyday moments that reveal character. You are going to notice who shows up when you need them and who conveniently disappears. You are going to see who celebrates your wins genuinely, and who smiles to your face while resenting your success in private. You are going to feel, with absolute clarity, which relationships fill you with energy and which ones leave you drained. And I want you to pay attention, not with anger, not with bitterness, but with the calm, clear-eyed discernment that is one of your greatest natural abilities. Because this revelation is not meant to hurt you. It is meant to free you. It is meant to help you direct your incredible loyalty toward the people who truly deserve it, rather than spreading it thin across connections that were never going to reciprocate your depth. Now, this does not mean you need to have dramatic confrontations or cut people out of your life overnight. That is not your style, and it does not need to be. What it means is that you give yourself permission to quietly adjust, to invest more in the people who prove themselves through consistent action, and to gently pull back from those who do not. You can do this with grace. You can do this without burning bridges. You can do this in a way that honors both your own boundaries and the humanity of the other person. But you must do it, because carrying relationships that do not serve you is not loyalty, Taurus. It is self-abandonment, and you have spent too many years abandoning yourself for the comfort of others. This season, choose yourself, not in a selfish way, in a wise way, in a way that says, "My energy is precious and I will give it to those who honor it." That is not cruelty. That is maturity, and it is long overdue. Tip 8. A decision you have been avoiding is now ready to be made, and your inner knowing already has the answer. Taurus, there is a decision sitting in the back of your mind that you have been dancing around for weeks, maybe even months. You know the one I am talking about. The one that pops up when the room gets quiet and there is nothing left to distract you. The one that makes your stomach tighten slightly every time you think about it. The one you keep telling yourself you will deal with later, when you have more information, when the timing is better, when you feel more certain. But here is the truth you have been avoiding along with the decision itself. You already know the answer. You have known for a while. The reason you have not acted on it is not because you lack clarity. It is because the answer requires change. And change, as we have already discussed, is not something that comes naturally to you. But Taurus, I need you to understand something very important about this particular moment. The window for this decision is not going to stay open forever. The energy supporting this choice is strong right now. The alignment is favorable right now. But energy moves. Opportunities shift. And if you wait too long, the decision will either be made for you by circumstances, or the option you truly want will no longer be available. Neither of those outcomes serves you well. So let me ask you this. What would you do if you were not afraid? What would you choose if you trusted yourself completely? What path would you take if you knew, really knew, that everything was going to work out? Because that is your answer, Taurus. That is what your intuition has been trying to tell you through all the noise and all the overthinking and all the sleepless nights. Your body already knows. Your heart already knows. The only part of you that does not know is the part that insists on certainty before taking a single step. And that part, while well-meaning, is not serving you right now. Making this decision does not require you to have the entire path mapped out. It does not require guarantees. It does not require permission from anyone else. It simply requires you to trust yourself enough to take the first step and then figure out the rest as you go. And I know that feels terrifying for someone who likes to plan everything in advance. But some of the greatest chapters of your life began with a single act of courage, not a perfectly constructed plan. This is one of those moments. The decision is ready. You are ready. Stop waiting for a certainty that will never come, and start trusting the wisdom that has been guiding you all along. It has never led you astray before, and it is not going to start now. Some people watch, others transform. If you want to be in the second group, the 21-day guide in the pinned comment gives you a clear step-by-step process aligned with your sign. This isn't about waiting, it's about moving. Tip 9. Your sense of self-worth is being recalibrated, and what used to feel like enough is about to be replaced with a much higher standard. Taurus, we need to talk about something that sits at the very core of who you are. Your sense of worth. For most of your life, you have defined your value in very specific ways. Maybe it was through how hard you worked. Maybe it was through how much you provided for others. Maybe it was through your reliability, your stability, your ability to always be the one people could count on. And all of those things are genuinely valuable. But somewhere along the way, you started to confuse what you do with who you are. You started to believe that your worth was something you had to earn every single day through sacrifice and service, and showing up for everyone else before yourself. And that belief, while it motivated you to build an incredible life, also left you running on empty more often than you care to admit. Because when your worth depends on constant output, you never get to rest. You never get to just be. You never get to sit still and know that you are valuable simply because you exist, not because of what you produce or what you give or what you endure. Well, Taurus, that old equation is breaking down. And what is rising up to replace it is something far more powerful and far more sustainable. You are beginning to realize that your worth is not a variable. It is a constant. It does not go up when you do something impressive, and it does not go down when you make a mistake. It is not determined by how useful you are to others, and it is not diminished by your need for rest and care. Your worth is inherent. It was there before you accomplished anything, and it will be there long after the accomplishments cease to matter. And this realization, simple as it sounds, is going to change the way you move through every single area of your life. Because when you truly know your worth, you stop accepting treatment that falls below your standard. You stop staying in situations that drain you because you think you have to earn the right to leave. You stop saying yes when every cell in your body is screaming no. You stop apologizing for having needs. You stop shrinking to make others comfortable. And you start, slowly, steadily, in that beautiful Taurus way, building a life that actually reflects how valuable you are, not just to others but to yourself. This recalibration is not going to happen overnight. It is a process, and there will be moments where the old programming kicks back in and tells you that you are being selfish or unreasonable for raising your standards. When that voice speaks up, I want you to thank it for trying to protect you, and then I want you to keep going anyway. Because the version of you that is emerging from this recalibration, the version that knows its worth without question, that version is going to attract opportunities, relationships, and experiences that the old version could never have imagined. You are not asking for too much, Taurus. You have been asking for too little, and that is about to change. Tip 10. The quiet season you are in is not a pause. It is a preparation for a level of abundance that requires a stronger foundation. Taurus, if your life feels a bit quieter than usual right now, I need you to understand something. This quiet is not a punishment. It is not the universe forgetting about you, and it is certainly not a sign that nothing is happening. Quite the opposite. What you are in right now is one of the most powerful phases a Taurus can experience, and it is the phase that most people misunderstand completely. You are in a season of preparation, the kind of preparation that happens underground, out of sight, where no one can see it, including you. Think about the way a seed works. When you plant a seed in the soil, there is a period where absolutely nothing seems to be happening on the surface. The ground looks the same. There are no shoots, no leaves, no flowers. And if you did not know any better, you might assume the seed was dead. But beneath the surface, that seed is doing the most important work of its life. It is putting down roots. It is drawing nutrients from the soil. It is building the internal structure that will eventually support everything that grows above ground. That is exactly what is happening in your life right now, the abundance that is coming to you. And make no mistake, it is coming, is bigger than anything you have experienced before. And bigger abundance requires a bigger foundation. It requires deeper roots. It requires a version of you that can handle more wealth, more love, more success, more joy without being overwhelmed or thrown off balance by it. And that version of you is being built right now, in the quiet, in the stillness, in the ordinary moments that feel like nothing special at all. So please, Taurus, do not rush this phase. Do not compare your quiet season to someone else's loud one. Do not assume that because nothing dramatic is happening externally, nothing meaningful is happening internally. The most significant transformations in life are the ones that cannot be seen until they are complete. The butterfly does not show its wings while it is still in the cocoon, and you are in your cocoon right now. You are dissolving old patterns. You are integrating new wisdom. You are becoming someone capable of holding the level of abundance that is on its way to you. Your only job during this phase is to trust the process and keep tending to the basics. Keep showing up for yourself. Keep doing the small daily things that maintain your health, your peace, and your clarity. Keep being patient with yourself when the progress feels slow, because it is not slow, it is thorough, and thorough is exactly what abundance at this level requires. The quiet will break soon enough, and when it does, when the first green shoot finally breaks through the surface and everyone around you sees what you have been building in the dark, you are going to be so grateful that you trusted the silence. The foundation is almost complete, Taurus. What is about to grow from it will take your breath away. Taurus, if you have stayed with me through this entire journey, I want you to take a deep breath right now. A real one. The kind that fills your lungs completely and reminds your body that you are alive and present and exactly where you need to be. Because everything we have talked about today, the patience being rewarded, the discomfort of growth, the financial evolution, the shifting relationships, the messages from your body, the creative awakening, the clarity about who belongs in your life, the decision waiting to be made, the recalibration of your worth, and the quiet preparation for abundance. All of these are not separate events. They are all part of the same beautiful, interconnected upgrade that is unfolding in your life right now. And I know that when you look at your life from the inside, it can be hard to see the pattern. It can feel like a collection of random challenges and scattered moments of hope. But from where I am standing, the pattern is unmistakable. You are being upgraded, Taurus. Not in a flashy look-at-me kind of way. In a deep, permanent, unshakable kind of way. The kind that does not fade when the excitement wears off. The kind that becomes part of who you are and changes everything from the inside out. But here is the most important thing I need to leave you with. This upgrade is not something that happens to you. It is something that happens through you. It requires your participation. It requires your willingness to receive, to grow, to release what no longer fits, and to step into the larger version of yourself that is already taking shape. You do not have to be perfect. You do not have to have it all figured out. You just have to keep showing up with that beautiful Taurus steadiness and trust that the ground beneath your feet is solid. Because it is. You built it. And now it is time to build something magnificent on top of it. The world needs the version of you that is emerging right now. The world needs your strength, your wisdom, your quiet power, your ability to create beauty and stability in the midst of chaos. Do not underestimate what you bring to this life, Taurus. And do not underestimate what this life is preparing to bring to you. The best is not behind you. The best is being built right now, in every quiet moment, in every act of courage, in every choice to keep going. This is your time. Trust it, embrace it, and watch what happens when a Taurus finally stops holding back and allows the full force of their potential to come through. You have two options after this video. Close it and hope things shift, or decide that the next 21 days will be different. If you choose the second, the structured 21-day transformation aligned with your sign is waiting in the pinned comment. The energy is already moving, the only question is whether you are.